Ugh. Yo, what's up everybody? This is John coming at you from Kawela Motors again, and finally today I'm showing you my favorite part of riding. I'm sure it's everyone's favorite part. You guessed it, the cleanup. So anyways, check out this video. There's been a big debate about how you should wash. I mean, there's always a big debate about how you should wash dirt bikes in general. Now you got this electric thing in the mix. You know, is it good to shoot it down? Do you use a pressure washer? Do you blast it with soap? Everybody has their own way of doing it. So keep in mind, this is my way of doing it, and I've been doing it for over a year with these electric motion bikes, and I haven't had a problem. So with that being said, there's certain things that you may not agree with, and that's fine. But I encourage you guys to put a like or dislike or comment in the box below, and tell me what you think, and maybe you might find some little tricks and tips that will help you with your electric motion or even your electric bike in general when you clean your bike. So enough talking, let's get into the step-by-step. All right, so first things first, like I said before, Kuku mud is very clay-like. So what we'll do first is we just keep it wet. If it gets dry, we'll just shoot it down, get it wet again. And what I like to do is I like to throw the bike on its side on our stand over there, and we can get into the bottom of the bike and get the undercarriage, all that loose stuff, and just a heavy mud caked on the linkages. And I'm going to be using a pressure washer for the most part. Now my pressure washer is an electric pressure washer. It's not real crazy. It's a Karcher, and it's only 2000 psi. So that being said, it's somewhat low compared to some of the gas ones out there. Now the most important thing I like to point out is this right here. This is a rotating head, and what the rotating head does is basically it just makes it seem like a very strong hose, you know. So you still can push water into some of the bearings and whatnot for the linkages, but this is actually not as bad as, say, a 15-degree straight tip, which, you know, shoots water specifically in one direct area. Now if you take a look at the way the pattern is, it's a rotating, so it does like a little spiral. And if you go close, it can be very strong, and if you go further away, it's almost like a mist, and it's quite safe on skin, you know. So it's actually very non-destructive if you go from a good distance and you go at the right angle. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is something you don't normally see. This is just regular foam from actually a pet store. This is like aquarium foam, so it's pretty light and it's mild, real soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this foam, and I've already actually shoved some up in there when I normally ride, so that the dust and everything won't get in there. Doesn't get hot. It still lets the controller, which is back there, to breathe and to, you know, release some heat, whatever it generates. But I'm gonna take this foam and I'm gonna shove it up in this crevice. Now that's not gonna stop all the water from getting in, but it will stop a good amount, which is what we want. We don't want to soak the controller in that cavity. We don't want to soak it as much as possible. Also, I'm just taking just a random piece of block foam that I have laying around, and I'm gonna ball this up. And now, so I have this foam in here just blocking some of the water from going in, and I block the switch, which is which is actually you know, we don't want to directly shoot the button. It's pretty sealed up good, but we don't want to just blast straight into it. So we'll just actually, I turn the button on, and then when I push the foam in, I turn the button off. So now that foam is in there. Now I can shoot it without getting into the electrical parts. Okay, and I'm gonna work from the bottom up. And the sky is helping me wash my bike. All right, we'll keep this video going. Another thing, of course, you don't want to shoot your bearings. We got that. This part here, there's actually an O-ring in there, and I said it in my other video. You can go check it out. When I took the E-scape apart, I actually showed you that there's an O-ring back there, and it's okay with this head. It's actually okay to shoot around the area, but what you don't want to shoot is you don't want to shoot to, like, diagonally into it. You can shoot down, you can shoot forward, but you don't want to shoot at an angle, and that's where you could possibly force the water into. This seal here, perfectly sealed. There's a metal gasket in there. It's good. We don't have to worry about that. This side here, this flywheel cover plate, perfectly sealed. Metal gasket. There's no water getting in there, so we're good with that. Of course, you don't want to blast it again, but with this head, it makes it a lot easier. And at this angle, we can get all the linkages as well. Okay, and now we're going to flip the bike over and do the same thing to the right side. Alright, so we got majority of the heavy stuff off the bike, so that's great. Now, well, as you notice, with that variable rotary tip, like I said, at a far distance, it's actually pretty non-intrusive. Like, it doesn't damage. It's not a very high directed pressure. So with that being said, I did stay a little bit further away when I did shoot this motor. Now this motor is sealed up. There's an O-ring under here. It's very tight, but the part you want to really stay away from is this sensor right here. So this cover houses a sensor right back here, and that's very vital. Like I said it before, it's very vital to how the bike operates. That needs to be in perfect working condition. There is a plug back here, and you know, the water is sealed. There's a bunch of plastic pieces under here that actually hold the wire tight, but then again, you don't want to be forcing water into that. That is very crucial. But the sensor itself is sealed to the motor, and that's important. But yes, again, don't want to force water in this way. It's okay to shoot it up front with a lighter pressure, but yeah, you don't want to force water in there. Okay, so now we're going to put the bike on the stand. We're going to shoot it on with some cleaner, scrub it, and give it a nice rinse. All right, so if you're wondering what I do as far as, like, do I use a soap or whatnot? Yeah, I use a soap. Actually, Slick products. Thank you, Jim, for hooking me up with some of this Slick off-road wash. Now, this stuff is very good. It works really good at protecting all the plastics, all the parts, and you know, it's actually just very non-corrosive, but it helps take the dirt right off. So thank you, Slick. And what we did is we put in a little foam cannon here, and we're just gonna blast this one side of the bike. We're gonna let it sit. I'm just gonna spin the bike around, blast the other side, and just let it foam up a bit, and then we'll get to scrubbing in a little bit. All right, so now we got the loose stuff off. Now we'll put our rotary pressure head back on, and now we can stay far away and just blast off all the soap and all the loose dirt and whatnot. I'll get a little bit closer on the tires just to, you know, I like I don't know why, but I like my tires pretty clean, so I'm going to take as much dirt off as I can. But you know, like I said, this thing is variable, so as you get closer, the pressure will increase and it will just knock off those tough little spots we got left. All right, so we got this bike nice and clean now. We got most of the mud, actually all the mud out of our you know, critical areas and whatnot. And I guess last but not least, what I like to do just for like detail purposes is I just like to like degrease it as much as possible. So for whatever reason, Hawaii mud kind of reacts well to degreasers. So what we got here is we got our Slick product orange degreaser, and this is a good degreaser because it doesn't actually corrode all the billet aluminum pieces that we have on this bike. If you use some of that purple stuff, that thing works great, but over time you'll see the anodizing and the paint fading from the billet aluminum pieces. So we're gonna take this. This is safe for all of our parts and our seals, and we're just gonna blast the area around here. We're gonna let that set a little bit. We're gonna clean our chain separately, but kind of the hard to reach places by our brake calipers. I'm gonna just get in there and just let it soak up, especially on this motor. We got this raw aluminum piece. We're gonna just spray that and let it sit. Let's see here, and then we'll come back, give that a little light scrubbing, and then we'll put that on. All right, you see how our motor got real nice and clean from that degreasing? That looks really good. All right guys, so this is the one point in the video that I show you I don't use the pressure washer at all. Now I don't want to be compromising any of the controls, you know, the mapping switch, especially the battery meter. You know, we need that to rely on our safety switch and our throttle. So we still need to get it clean. I mean, I have a lot of dirt on this. I don't want to leave it dirty, but this part I don't use a pressure washer at all. This is the part I strictly use a regular water hose at a somewhat low pressure, and I don't really get into the real, you know, crevices and whatnot. I just try to shoot it just to keep it clean, you know, just to get this thing clean, get the majority of the mud off. Yeah, I'm not really interested in forcing water into my switches. Alright, and last but not least, one of the most important things and one of the easiest, cheapest, and common things to do for your electric bike: clean the chain. So I got this Maxim chain cleaner. This stuff works great. We roll it on, scrub it down, and you know, this is one of the easiest things to do to reduce friction. And I mean, honestly, it just keeps the noise down too, because when your chain gets dirty, because there's no engine, you can hear everything. So if you have a dirty chain, you're going to hear it, and it might end up annoying you. So keep your chain clean. And now, since we have one, we take our little electric blower here, and we might as well get all the water we can out of this bike. All right, so you take that foam out, and you see all this mud that it caught. You know, rather than pushing the mud into the bike, it actually caught on the foam. So you know, we can just wash this, shoot it down later, and then reuse it next time we wash our bike. Alright guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. Remember, if you like what you see, please subscribe, hit that like button, remember, sure to comment. And yeah, you know, this is, like I said in the description, this is not necessarily the way to clean your bike or your electric bike or whatever. This is simply my way of doing it. You know, contrary to what the manuals say or whatever other people do. Basically, this is how I do it. I've been doing it for a year this way, and I have not had a problem. Now, that being said, this is not a representation of Electric Motion and what they suggest. Like I said, this is just clearly my way of doing it. So unfortunately, if you guys have any problems due to the way you do it, or if you've seen this video and you tried some of the things I did, with maybe possibly negative results. I am not liable for that. Electric Motion is not liable for that. But if you stick to the general rules of, you know, going low pressure, you know, using the pressure washer to just take away the heavy stuff, and then using the you know, lighter spray or a different tip like we do to knock off the clean stuff, you'll be fine. Bike is actually very water resistant as it is, and if you see in the video, if you haven't checked the link above, the video will show how we actually further made it water resistant with coating the plugs and greasing up the plugs. So thanks again, guys. Stay clean out there. I know for all you guys in the snow, it's going to be melting soon. Thank God you can get out and ride your new bikes, and it's going to be really muddy. So hopefully this video has helped you or will help you in the future. And until next time, guys, ride with Aloha.